Happy Sunday, Tampa Bay. We made it to the studio this morning. This is like an island, you know. This is like if the flooding apocalypse happens, everyone is coming to iHeart Studios because this is one of the only places you can actually get to. Although I almost didn't make it, so it was quite interesting this morning. So I posted on my Twitter, which is @TheDuncanDuo, last night that lots of our homeowners just became waterfront property owners. Their values went up. Maybe we can change some advertising. You know, if your home's on the market and you now have a lake as a front yard, it just became waterfront.
It's a kayak drop.
Yeah, it's a kayak drop. So I'm here with Arnie and David Diaz, the Diaz duo from Waterstone Mortgage, as well as Shawn Yesner from Yesner Law, talking about the local real estate market. Obviously, everyone is flooded in, and I wanted to start the show today just talking about, you know, when you're putting your home on the market, when things like this are happening. Obviously, we have a whole slew of homes ready to go on the market that hadn't quite made it to the market because they can't be photographed, you know. And so if you're meeting with an agent about putting your home on the market, just be prepared for their guidance that maybe you want to wait until a decent weather day to get photos. You don't want to rush the home to market. You don't want to take photos while you have a lake in your front yard. You know, that's not really, while I joke that your property value went up, that's not really the best interest of the property. So sometimes photos can get delayed. You know, if you're a buyer and you haven't seen many homes hit the market the last couple of weeks, that's probably why, because they're probably getting good advice, or the sellers are kind of staying put and thinking, oh, let's wait until this, you know, this flood in my front yard, you know, goes away. And that brings up another point, the whole idea of disclosure. If you get water in your house with flooding, their property disclosure, you need to disclose it. Always disclose, you know, any defects or things. So flooding like this brings up a whole slew of issues for real estate agents and brokers, and then home sellers and buyers, and it certainly causes things to be a little tense, causes some confusion when a home buyer is sitting there waiting for homes to hit the market and there aren't any. So that's kind of my...
There's some delays in closing because we can't get repairs done to the house because
right,
of the rain.
Because it's flooding. Yeah, right, you got roof leak and you can't get it fixed because it's raining.
Yeah. I had a realtor call me yesterday, or Friday as a matter of fact. I had a realtor call me because they were doing the walkthrough inspection and the house had some just normal settlement cracking, but because of all the rain had come in through the cracks, and it started to destroy the baseboards on the inside of the house that the seller wouldn't have never seen because he had a couch in front of those baseboards or something. So we were talking about force majeure, acts of God, all those types of things to see if those clauses in the contract would kick in to help delay the closing.
And that's something that's going to happen a lot. I mean, I'm certain that when and we've been out of town on vacation, I'm certain that when I get into work tomorrow, that we're going to see things like this that have occurred. You know, there are going to be some challenges and obstacles and delays, and not just delays getting closing, but delays getting homes on the market. You know, flooding and all the rain that we've had, and it's not just, it's funny because a lot of times the flooding is in a certain part of town. You know, let's just say South Tampa. I think everyone knows, you know, if you cruise along Bayshore Boulevard, if you cruise up and down Dale Mabry when it rains like this, but there's a lot of parts of town that are flooded, not just South Tampa right now. You know, we're hearing it in Wesley Chapel, off of Hillsborough Avenue, up in Northwest Tampa. I mean, we're hearing flooding in a lot of different places, and we're seeing it impact our clients because buyers don't want to go out and look. Sellers don't want to put it on the market. It's almost like gridlock for real estate, and it can cause a lot of closing delays. What any other, besides the repairs, I would assume that because none of these are named storms, and we don't have Richard with Artisan Insurance here, but I'd assume it doesn't cause any issues with insurance other than getting repairs done. Any, you know, appraisals? I mean, are appraisers willing to? Are they willing to boat to homes?
What we're seeing a lot is all of a sudden realtors are calling us saying, "Hey, we have to extend the inspection period because the rains have been too much," and then then the appraiser is also
pushed
delayed.
back, and then the closing
everything's slightly pushed back a little bit. So.
And this is on top of the new changes that are coming in. A couple of months with closings, you know, throw some delayed closings here on top of all the, you know, so it's.
Warming everybody up for it.
Yeah. This is stretching. This is stretching. So I would just prepare everybody that's thinking, you know, buying or selling a home right now. Just plan on, you know, some of these things causing some delays, and it'll cause a backlog because here's what will happen: so the appraisers that maybe don't go out and do much are now going to get a whole slew of them at the same time because everybody pushed theirs back. Instead of having them all over a 1 week period, now they're going to be 3 days. You know, the same thing with photographers. You know, if you're a real estate photographer, you know, a week has gone by and you really haven't done anything. But next week, everyone is going to want you to get to their listing. So you're going to have overbook, it's just going to cause a lot of problems. Does that mean that your home's not going to sell? You're not going to be able to, but no, just you expect some delays, expect some curveballs that you wouldn't normally see when it's sunny and dry out.
Right. It doesn't mean that the closing date automatically has to be pushed back. It just means that things are going to be a little bit tighter time frame, and
they may still close on time,
yeah.
and the home may still get listed on time, but these things cause backups in a lot of different areas, and it causes disclosure issues because and condition issues, like Shawn said, because things that you wouldn't normally have fail on a home. If your air conditioner has a foot of water in it, if a lot of things fail, so. Kind of remembering those clauses of the contract, and then to disclose, because Shawn, I'm sure you can address what happens when a home seller doesn't disclose.
Yeah, when a home seller doesn't disclose, things can get really complicated and really litigious and cause big fights really quickly.
Yeah, there's even been recently in the news a couple times where there was one family that was arrested for lying about a sinkhole claim on a home, completely lied about it, knew about it, got paid, and didn't disclose. And it's similar, in situations like that with this house. If you get water in the house because of the flooding, just disclose it. A good inspector is going to find it, or they're going to talk to a neighbor, and a neighbor's going to say, "Yeah, there was a foot of water in that house 6 months ago."
Yeah.
So just this is going to cause new disclosure issues. If your home's on the market and you want to redisclose, if something changes with that property disclosure from the date that you filled out, and all of a sudden now your home gets flooded, but hey, you said, 6 months ago when I filled out the form, I didn't have to, but it happened 3 months later. You need to redisclose. You need to fix. You need to make sure that that person knows that your house got flooded, or you found some other defect. So that there aren't any issues later on when they say, they said that I didn't have any flooding in my house. So definitely some curveballs that are going to be thrown at us by the flooding and all the extra raining that's going on.